Hey, it's Johnson, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to use AI to help me write an ad, okay? How it's going to speed up my research and why it's going to be a solid sales copywriter's best friend. Now, I know a lot of copywriters are worried, and mostly it's going to be the content copywriters or the basic storytellers or people that write blogs and stuff. They're going to be worried. But I want to show you how, if you're a cold-blooded, cold traffic sales copywriter, you're not going to have to worry because you're going to still need your creative skills to use and cherry pick the content that you get from the research. Okay. Now, I've been reviewing VSLs for friends, clients, and stuff, and got a couple of brainstorm calls. And one common theme was, of course, fat loss offers, right? And a couple were selling fat loss offers for older men and more about testosterone, things like that. And they've been talking about, and another one's about a detox, whatever, but it's about fat multiplying, right? And you have to detox it out, or you got to produce more, whatever, get some stuff, whatever, right? Whatever they're going to pitch. Okay. And it's about fat multiplying. And that was their mechanism, that fat multiplies. Okay. And I want to write an ad about that, and I want to write it with you. Okay, you guys can watch me go and write that. I wrote a little bit on a copy, and I'll show you. I power wrote it, so there's going to be a lot of errors and all that. So if you take some time, there's a refresh. Stay with me. Okay. Now, instead of multiplying, I just don't feel that's going to hit me, right? Belly fat multiplies. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I wanted to write something different. So one thing I want to start off with is writing the hook first. Okay, and the hook is so important first because as it's the most important part, and you don't want to write this, you don't want to do all the research for the body copy and all that, and you can't think of the hook, and then it takes you forever to think of the hook and it doesn't make sense, and now you waste all your time with this research and blah blah blah. But research can help you think of the hook because it starts triggering new ideas. You haven't seen certain research, and might connect the dots in your head. But we're going to go into man, I don't want this to have to refresh. Okay, let's go into that doc real quick. Okay, now I want to show you my hook real quick that I wrote. This took me like a minute. And here's the thing, guys. If you can't write that, the hook, you want to focus on cleaning it up, but coming down with the idea shouldn't take you that long. If you can't explain something, in a sentence or two, or, do it quickly, then you don't know enough about that subject. And if you can't even explain it and it takes you too long to figure it out, imagine someone that's watching your video. How are they going to figure out? They're not going to do the research. They're not going to dive into like you are. So if you can't explain it and you can't get the idea out quickly for your hook, it's not going to work. Okay. It might, but chances are it's not, because it's going to be too complicated. All right, let's go into these, to this hook. Okay. So instead of multiplying and all that, really, make them feel it, right? And first, this first sentence that you see here is, if you're a man over 40 struggling with this, and remember, this is a video. You don't need to say every word. You could just grab your belly. If you're trying to struggle with this, I don't want to repeat words over and over. You copywriters know you don't want to say the same words in every sentence. You try to replace the words, blah, blah, blah. So this is my qualifying sentence. If you're a man over 40, that's me. Struggling with belly fat like this, struggling with this, that's me. Okay, then here's why it feels impossible to get rid of belly fat. It's because belly fat, or scientifically known as visceral fat, can breed and reproduce itself like a virus or like a fungal infection or something. Now you're giving a comparison. They're like, oh, dang, it's true. I have foot fungus and it never goes away. Or I have a skin condition like eczema and just keeps coming back and coming back, right? All right, so that's the hook. Now, after the hook, you always want to support that hook too. You don't want to do, the old school crazy hook. Hey, this is a pen. Hey, this is a piece of a sedimentary rock, and I'm going to show you how it helps you, break down body fat. Okay. And then you get to the copy, it doesn't have anything to do with the rock, and has, or it's the connection is not strong enough, right? So I need to reconfirm this hook and make them believe that it's actually true. Okay. So this is, again, something AI is, it's not going to kick out for you. Okay. You got to use your creative genius. That's why I'm telling you that sales copywriting, once you get good at it, you can't be replaced, because nothing's going to come up with these, crazy analogies or hooks. Now, my analogy to get someone to believe that belly fat reproduces itself is this. Now, I mean, you worked out and you diet before, right? Heck, you try starving yourself, and you notice your arms and your legs, heck, whatever is getting toner. Heck, maybe even your face looks leaner. But then you ever look at your stomach and start wondering, how come my stomach looks exactly the same or even gotten bigger? Well, that's because belly fat is made from a different type of fat. And on top of that, it reproduces itself, like I said. Okay, that drives it in. That makes sense. And remember, when you ask a question as a copywriter, as a salesperson, you need to know the answer. It has to be a yes or no, whatever, right? In my case, it has to be yes, that's true. Don't ever ask questions that you're not sure of. Have you ever dieted? Maybe they have. Well, yes, they have. Have you ever done keto and started? No, maybe they haven't done keto. You just asked a dumb question. It's not going to work now. Questions that you know the answers to. That's the key to winning an argument. Okay. All right. Now that we got the hook, the logic copy, let's go into the science. Okay. How does belly fat multiply itself? Okay. This is where I'm going to use AI. Okay. We're going to use ChatGPT because it's free. All right. And you could probably just, the link's right there, chat.openai.com/chat. You could get it for free. So you could try it out if you don't have Jasper or whatever, right? So most normal people will be like, how does belly fat reproduce itself? Also, I'm a terrible speller. So if you see me misspelling stuff, it's okay. We will survive. Belly fat or abdominal fat does not reproduce itself. Oh my gosh, there it goes. It doesn't. All right, we failed. No, it's not true. We're gonna, we're doing comparison analogies. We're gonna figure this out, right? That's why most people can't just use AI and write an ad. Even if you have an interesting hook, you gotta be, you gotta be smart. You gotta know the right prompts, the right questions. I call these forced questions. Okay, you need to write questions that force the right science out. Okay. Now, what we did here is what I call the true it up. I kind of made the science up, kind of believe that it's true. So we're going to make it true, right? With the right prompts and right questions. Okay. So what I would ask is, and we're talking about, men and testosterone and all that, I'm going to ask about hormones. Okay. What hormones increases belly fat? And I want it in bullet points. In bullet points. I ain't trying to write it. I'm just pulling out info, right? Several hormones that can contribute. Okay. Cortisol, yes, we know that's the stress hormone. It triggers, the body to store water and all that. Estrogen, okay, that's another one. That's both in men and women, place distribution of fat in the body. In women, estrogen tends to decline. Blah blah blah. Insulin, of course. Let's see. I know a lot of bodybuilders, they take insulin to get huge. That's why some people with like type 1 diabetes, they build muscle so well. They take insulin. Leptin. Okay, you hear all that. Testosterone. Okay, when you have low testosterone, that causes it. Oh, there you go. Let's do that. I mean, estrogen is a scary one. Cortisol, stress hormone. Most men might be like, if we're writing towards men right now, well, we are. They're gonna be like, I'll just control my stress. I'm a tough guy. I'm just gonna control my. They'll figure it out. The estrogen, that might scare them, right? Estrogen, the hormone, the female hormone. Okay, we're gonna call it the master female hormones. It is, all right. That might scare men more, that estrogen is going to cause it. Okay, let's go into the next question. So we're going to talk about estrogen. Okay. And now it's in men and women, right? So let's ask, why do men have high estrogen? In bullets. Estrogen is a hormone produced in men and women, typically associated in men. Estrogen is produced in the test, blah, blah, blah. Here's some reason why. Okay, aging. Okay, as you age, you have lower testosterone decline, which could lead to increase in estrogen. Obviously, it's a ratio. Obesity, liver disease, testicular problems, certain medication. I don't feel like it's enough. I don't see. Okay, let's ask another question. Um, how is estrogen made in men? Send me the same answers. Oh, there it goes. Let's see. Here's what I'm talking about picking the information instead of just taking everything. Some people will run ads. They'll use AI to write ads. They just copy and paste the whole thing and be like, let's just test it, right? But once you put the human touch, put more thought in there, it's going to do a little bit more work. So right here, let's see this. Aromatation, right? From aromatase, right? Okay. Which testosterone is converted to estrogen. Boom, there's a science. Let's write that down. Testosterone is being converted to estrogen by aromatase, okay? All right, we're getting there. Okay. So so here you go. Hey, you're getting more belly fat because you have more estrogen in your body. And the reason why you have more estrogen is because your testosterone, let's use a harsher word, right? Your testosterone is being destroyed and turned into estrogen, the master female hormone. Okay, that sounds a lot scarier. And it's because of the enzyme called aromatase. Okay, let's go deeper. What causes high aromatase in men. You see how we're asking these specific forced answers that we're wanting to get, right? These forced questions. All right, aromatase converts estrogen. Now we know that. That's a lot of people, that's already shocking for a lot of people. All right, obesity. Men who are overweight or obese may have higher levels of aromatase due to the presence of an enzyme in the fat tissue. There you go. We're connecting the dots, right? Okay. Hey, and then we're going to go reverse. Okay. Hey, did you know that your belly fat, your fat tissue this enzyme comes from your fat tissue? Did you know that your belly fat is leaking out, or there's an enzyme that's coming out of your belly fat, and it's called aromatase? And what aromatase does is it destroys your testosterone and turns it into estrogen. Okay. And the more estrogen you have, let's see, and the more estrogen you have, the more belly fat that your body produces, right? Several hormones. The more belly fat you have, the more estrogen you have, the more body fat you have. Okay. And the more body fat you have, the more aromatase you produce, which then destroys more of your estrogen. Testosterone turns it into estrogen and causing you to have more estrogen in your body, which causes even more aromatase. So it's a vicious cycle. Boom. We got the science. You see, I did all that research. I'm doing this with you, but normally that, just getting that would have took me two minutes or so, a couple of minutes, and I would have got all that, and I would have got the mechanism that's in the copy. Okay, so let's go back to this copy. Okay, I do have a format on how I write the hooks and the copy and the logic and all of that. So it goes from the hook support, then we go into the impulsive CTA. Now, there's a lot of impulsive buyers, so we want to give them a way out. Okay, let's say I was selling solar roofs or whatever. I was selling something, right? I'm door to door selling new gardening tools. I don't know, whatever, right? And I knock on the door and I'm like, hey, your yard looks disgusting. Did you know there's these new tools? And then they're like, I'm ready to buy. You're not going to give them the rest of the sales pitch. You just sell it to them, right? You gave them an out. And so you got to do that with your ads too. You got to think like you're talking to a person. That's what people are forgetting. They're not talking to someone. They're just writing. Okay. They're not three-dimensionalizing their copy. Okay. So you could give them out. I put an option there. Okay. You need to have the transition though. Okay. So let's go to the logic section. Okay. I kind of know this already. So taking from that science here, you see, remember as a copywriter, your goal is to write a sentence that triggers them to read the next sentence, that triggers them to read the next one, that triggers them to read the next one. It's not about just giving solid facts. Okay, great. I learned this. I'm not interested in reading the next sentence. You got to. That's the key. And that's why, again, if you're a sales copywriter, you're in massive demand. Okay. And you're going to be able to ask these right questions that, normal operations, normal content writers, some marketers, they're not familiar with deep emotional discovery. They're not going to be able to ask these questions. All right, let's just go with some I wrote really fast. All right, you see? Well, it's because it could reproduce itself, as I said. Impulsive CTA, I'm just going to freestyle it, right? And now, if you want to know how to stop your belly fat from reproducing and start getting abs like me at the age of 56, click the link below and watch this video because I'm going to show you exactly what I did to stop this fat cell reproduction, okay? And this, whatever, right? That's acting like a fungal infection in your body, whatever, right? Scare them a little bit, of course, nicely. All right. Now, as you're writing, don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about cleaning up. Don't worry about, compliance yet. Get all your ideas out and then do that. Those are what I call creative killers, okay? If you're going through, correcting spelling, people that don't know copy as they're reading with you, they're going to be like, oh, let's fix that word. That word looks weird, or this is misspelled. They're not creative. They're just worrying about what they see, on the screen, right? You need to spend all your creative power first and then go back to do the dumb stuff. Spell check, those are called dummy stuff that you could do later, okay? The creative, you need to have the juice and you got the hype right now. You use your creative power and get that down, okay? Before you go into the dummy stuff, okay? Correcting a sentence. Oh, you forgot a period. Well, you forgot we need to make money, okay? All right, let's go. Not having a period's not going to kill anybody, right? All right, so bam, we go into the logic section, okay? So we want to raise their attention back up because we just told them about CTA. You see, your belly fat leaks out. Make it sound scary. Your belly fat is leaking out an enzyme called aromatase that eats away at your master hormone and turns it into the master female hormone, estrogen. Now, you're smart enough to know as a man over 40, you got to support them, right? You got, as a smart man, you can say something like that, to agree with them. Instead of now you're smart enough to know maybe they don't know. So I fell under my I fell my own rule of asking the right question. Let's change that to, as a smart man, you probably know. So now we're assuming they're smart. They must feel great. I'm smart. I know this. They might not know, but now they're, fake it, right? I am smart. Okay. As a smart man, you already know, you need all the tests you can make, especially for men over 40. You give more supporting senses right here, and especially for men over 40, because uh, um, after your prime age after your prime age of your 20s, your body starts dropping estrogen, testosterone levels by 1 or 2%. And by the time you hit, 50 or whatever years old, by 40, you could be half the man you once were because you have half the testosterone, and they're like, dang, and these men are going through, maybe midlife crisis. They're getting the emotional feeling of like, man, I'm not the man I used to be. This is why. Now they believe you even further, right? Now here's something, now that, now that that's something you already know, but here's something you might not know. Okay. It's like, like the compliment sandwich, right? Say something good, then bad, then good, right? Boom, you're smart. Now you might not know this. Okay, that estrogen is what gives women their feminine features. But when men have too much of it, you'll see male breast tissue start to form, and you'll start storing massive amount of weight everywhere, especially in your stomach area or your belly fat area. And then that's where we go into that science that we found, right? And the more belly fat you have, the more aromatase, this enzyme, is leaked out from your stomach, right? Causing even more estrogen, and which in turn causes you to produce even more belly fat. Okay, so you're going through this never-ending vicious cycle, okay, of belly fat, why it comes back, right? And that's because you could reconfirm this right now, sense in here. Reconfirm that, repeat it. Just like when someone asks you a question, you always have to repeat the question, then give the answer. Same thing right here, right? So, hey, and that's exactly how belly fat reproduces itself. It's because of this vicious belly fat reproduction cycle, where your belly fat is leaking out this enzyme, destroying your master male hormone and turning into estrogen, which estrogen then causes more belly fat, and then the more belly fat you have, which then leaks even more of the aromatase enzyme. Boom, we got the science down. They're this all making sense in their head. Everything is making sense now, right? So then we're gonna agree with them, that sandwich, right? The compliment. And so it's not your fault, or so it's not your diet or your lack of effort with exercise, or even low T, which most men think they have because of all the marketing out there. The truth is your body might be producing, earlier here on this copy, we could also say, now the more tests you have, the leaner you'll be, the more muscular your body will become, and blah blah blah, right? All right, so that's another support sentence that we could have put to even further explain support tests, why it's important. Okay, now some people might be like, you don't need to say that, guys already know they need tests out. No, they don't know. You think they know. Just because you think everyone knows. No one knows. Okay. And one of the biggest disappointment in life is expecting others to do what you would do. Well, also another disappointment is expecting people to know what you know. No, they don't know. Okay. And you're selling cold traffic. This is not warm traffic to a specific list. Yes, you're targeting these people on ads, but they still don't know. And they, even if they know, if you tell them again, they'll feel smart for knowing. You want people to feel good. This isn't an email VSL where you're telling people they're gonna die. You're trying to destroy their emotions and break them down. This is about making people feel good and staying compliant, okay, and happy to read and getting excited and hyped. You're pulling them into your new world of fitness. You're not pushing them into fear mode and self-destruction, do this or die kind of style, right? And on top of that, we're writing high content ads. So for copywriters out there who are running those scammy, scientists, 500,000 people because of this one, water trick, and where it has no content, doesn't explain anything. We're writing solid content email that could be reused over and over, and that'll last a lot longer and resonate, and is actually shareable. When something is solid, people share it. Okay. Okay, let's go. It's not your lack of diet. So what are you going to do? So we need to start transitioning. Now that was my logic section of my copy. Now I got to go into the logic CTA, call to action, right? The truth is your body might be producing enough of it, but it's being destroyed by this, by your estrogen, right? And this aromatase. The key is actually to help the body produce more tests or maintain more tests while blocking the effect of that leaking aromatase, okay? And here's what you got to do, okay? Boom, that's your logic CTA. And if that sounds like you, and if you're someone who's been dieting, who's been working out, I didn't write any more copies, I'll blank, but there is the emotional section. I'll tell you more about that. You've been dieting, and you've been seeing your arms are being more toned, check it out, blah blah blah. Your legs are more toned, but your face is leaner, but your belly is getting bigger. Chances are you might have your belly fat's leaking, aromatase. You need to stop this, right? Boom. And if you want to see, and I just posted a free video that shows you exactly how to do that, and you can click the link right now. Boom. Okay. Emotional section. Okay. This is where you confirm all of this. Okay. Now, again, if you opt into my mirror message or my free download, I give you the template so you can see exactly what I'm talking about if you're lost in my logic, right? Now, the emotional side is a story. Now, just like you, I used to do all this type of workout. I saw my arms getting leaner, and I will always wear, sleeveless shirts, and, and people think I fit, but in reality, I had all this belly fat that I was hiding. I couldn't wear that soft t-shirt because when the wind blew, it would show my, my chest breast tissues that was forming because of estrogen and blah, 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 that emotion story. Heck, I never went to the pool. I didn't go to the pool in, 20 years because I was so ashamed, while my friends are hanging out, barbecuing, I'm sitting inside, making up excuses, and this sucked, and I had to do this and blah, blah. All right. I'm not going to tell you, go into the other, the final CTA. That's something you got to go learn, go opt in and check it out. But as you can see, that research really helped me get the signs down pretty quick. Okay. And that's why, using AI instead of fearing it, it's one of the best tools. And yes, you heard people, oh my God, look at these stories that it's writing. Look at this, I'm going to give it a prompt to write this whole, narrative, this content, with this story. With that doesn't sell, you got to, the masters have to, cherry pick the content and plug them together, right? Just like buying a set of Lego, right? Great. It helps you build this fire truck, right? You know what? I could take those same blocks of Legos and I could build a spaceship. Okay. And that's how creative I am. We're using the same tools, but I could build even better stuff. I don't even need to read the instructions, right? But you got to get to that skill level. But in order to do that, you have to understand what's needed, the hook. Okay. Again, AI is not going to write you that hook. You need to get into it. You need to come up with that hook on your own with life experiences, all that, the logic side of it. That's where you're using AI for the copy. And yes, you could write that emotional story right here too. Hey, write a story about how Johnson had belly fat and was too embarrassed. 20 years. Johnson had always struggled with his weight. Over the years, he had accumulated. I just don't even think a human would talk like that. You have to probably rewrite this. Hey, I was blah, blah, blah. I was, we used to write complete sentences and then turn them into, grammatically wrong, whatever, right? Humanize your copy. If you're not humanizing your copy, you're missing out. Like, this just sounds robotic a little bit, but, for a normal person, they wouldn't be able to tell. But when you've been writing for a while, someone boring wrote that. Okay. So back to the ad. Now, this is an ad for abs, to get abs, for men over 40 to do all that. And hope this helps, gives you some ideas. And for you sales copywriters out there who, haven't really dived into AI and been worried about it, don't worry. You see how we had to ask so many questions. Normal people wouldn't be able to ask these questions. Okay. And again, you have to have the knowledge of the format, the ads, the hook, the logic section to know what you need to write in there and cherry pick in. Okay. And again, if you want to get this template of how I outline my hooks and all of that, go opt into the link at the mirror message. And I don't remember the exact link, right? Go log in, the links on the page, and get my tips and go get the template and start trying out AI and write your own creative ads. And these hook outlines, spend time writing these hooks, save them up, for a rainy day, All right, cool. I hope this is a super long video, but it is super informational. So, and we just wrote this ad together. So congrats, right? Cool. Peace out, man. I look, and go and paste any ads you have. If you want us to check them out, look at new cooler hooks and ideas like that. And if we have time, we'll definitely make a Loom video for you to do that. Okay. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out. Go Cowboys.